The inspiration behind scanners was, a couple of years ago I saw a video by Shinji Nishimoto where he encoded digital video from the inside of somebody's brain in an fMRI scanner, and that blew my mind. Around about the same time, I found that these commercially available brain-computer interfaces were on the market, and that gave me the idea to use this commercially available tech and create a film using mapped brain data. I've always been a fan of the writing of Walter Murch, the editor, and he talks about internal states and rhythms of people's psyche when they're watching film. He also talks about blanking as being like a cut, thoughts being like shots, and film being like dream. So for me, the challenge was like how to map this live data to an effective film to augment our viewing experience. So these like two-way effect loops that the viewer feeling emotions and feeding them back in the film, doing the same with the content, meant that when making the film, it wasn't a case of making a linear film that starts at point A and goes to point B. It was almost like quantum. You're making multiple versions of the film that are happening all at the same time. I'm trying to make an experience that obviously every single person that watches it is going to have a completely unique film, but it has to work. Each unique film has to work, so it needs to be able to jump from layer 3 to 2 back to 1. Like this presented its own challenges but also its own opportunities. It meant that we were able to add context to different scenes or different moments. We're able to see inside the main character's heads at different times, and that's one of the reasons why I made this, to be able to see more of that main character, to be able to develop that character in people's heads, and reduce the latency between the viewer and the film. Some of the elements that make up scanners, and I think there are assets to it, are like the depth and the drillability of the film. You're able to actively see more or experience more of the story, the characters, and almost like purely on an emotional level as well. You're eliciting emotions, you're feeding back emotions or emotional content, and reducing that latency between the viewer and the film, making that something that's happening at the same time. I think it's quite effective for the viewer that when you're watching it, you know something's happening. You know something's happening directly related to a real process in your mind, and there's something about that speaks or jumps over certain barriers you put up when you're watching film.